Welcome back to the AFL Yavneh Footy Vodcast for round 10. We are joined here with myself, Carlia, and Mr. Smith, and we have someone new, a fresh face, Jacob Epstein. Welcome to the Vodcast.
Thank you very much. It's really good to be here.
Awesome. All right, so let's start off with the recap, guys. Mr. Smith, can you tell us a bit about the Saints versus Cats game? I mean, it looked like, the Saints were going well, but every time they shot for goal, their kicking was a bit of a circus. Their kicking was atrocious. 5 goals, 17. Tell us a bit about it, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, that was going to be my opening statement, really. I mean, you can't expect to win games when you kick that poorly. I must say, it's probably as close as we get to an honourable loss, though, because the Saints absolutely did the job on the tackling front, which is an important marker for the effort. 86 tackles to 62. I've come with some research this week.
Okay.
And really, but you got to kick better. And look, I think one of the other big takeaways for me, especially on the fantasy front, having this bloke as an integral member of a couple of my teams, Cam Guthrie for the Cats. He's going to be a hot property coming up to the sort of the free agency market. But he's on fire for the Cats.
100%. And I agree. The Saints, they weren't too bad. It was just more going forward where they were quite poor. Now on to the Swans versus Pies. This one was heartbreaking for me, guys. Obviously, we lost by 5 goals in the end. We play with no dare. We're just chipping the ball around. And this game really showed me how much we miss Adam Treloar, because Adam Treloar had the ability to take the game on through the middle, chain up with the handballs, bounce the ball. He took risks, and we don't have any players that do that anymore. So it was tough. But look, credit to Sydney, Buddy, Papley, Heaney. They all stepped up, and they played good games. And we weren't good enough, and it was very disappointing to see. But on to next week. All right, Jacob, talk to me about Essendon versus Fremantle.
Yeah, so it's another close game of the year. I just don't think the quality of that game was that amazing that we've seen this year. I thought Parrish and for the Bombers and Taberner were awesome, but the person I want to focus on is Nick Hind off the halfback.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute jet, racking it up, and really took Sard's position. He played it really well this year, and I reckon he's the snag of the transfer window for sure.
I would have to agree with that. Now on to your mob, Carlia, and the Heavenly Demons. Every single week I get to click that button because they are not letting us down. Carlia, tell me a bit about Carlton versus Melbourne.
Look, Melbourne are still 9-0, a disappointing finish by Carlton. But, Carlton actually were half decent at the start. But, Melbourne just proved to be too good. We did have more turnovers than Melbourne, 19 more. But just shows the lack of conversions on Carlton's behalf. Also, Sam Walsh had an amazing game, was voted probably player of the match. But at the end of the day, Melbourne are incredible, and they just played a better game of footy than us.
Week in, week out, Sam Walsh is stepping up. All right, now let's go on to round 10, and let's get a little bit of a preview going on all the games. Mr. Smith, give us a bit of a preview on Lions versus Tigers.
Lions and Tigers and Bears, oh my. So no Bears, obviously, they don't exist anymore. So look, what to make of the Tigers? I think that last week was a fantastic come-from-behind win, and so you kind of feel like they're going to win enough games to be thereabouts come finals time where they can, do their thing. So the question is, though, can we trust them every week? And my feeling, I think in Brisbane, a Brisbane team that's in pretty red-hot form, they've won a number of games in a row. I think it's about 5 in a row, possibly. There you go. My research isn't that good. But Richmond with their outs as well. They've still got Cochin out, Bolton out, Prestia's still out. Even though Brizzy lost Darcy Gardner, who's a pretty critical out for them, I think the Lions in a fairly close one, 8 points for mine.
Lions by 8. Jacob?
Yeah, I'm Brisbane all the way. I do love the Tigers, but I just can't see anyone beating Brisbane at the moment. So I'm Brisbane by 15.
Carlia?
Yeah, Brisbane by 10.
Yeah, Richmond, good win, but not convincing enough to say that they can beat the Lions. So I've got the Lions by 10 points. Now on to the Blues versus... I don't even need to say the name. I think that sound effect sums it up. Losing to North Melbourne, the Hawthorn Hawks, everybody. Very poor last week. Blues versus Hawks. Jacob, tell us a bit about it.
Shocking loss by the Hawks, but can't say Carlton are in good form either. But I am expecting an absolute smashing here. I don't know if we'll do it, but we definitely should be the better team. I'm expecting Harry Mackay to kick at least 6 goals, and big news with Cripps about to sign a 4-year contract
Yes.
apparently. So let's hope that will kind of get him back into form and, get a big dominant game. Carlton by 50.
By 50. Carlia, do you also back the Blues?
Back the Blues all the way. I'm not going to go by 50. I'm going to go by a more conservative 30. Just, just because he's going to stay on the conservative side.
Fair enough. Mr. Smith, your tip?
Yeah, 4-goal win for mine. I think Carlton should do enough to take out a bit of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
We hope so.
I've got the Blues by 19 points. Now, the Cats, ever since Jeremy Cameron came into this Cats lineup, they have been thriving, and they are up against the Suns this week. Carlia, tell us a bit about that game.
Yeah, I think the Cats are absolutely going to dominate against the Suns. As you said, Cameron and also Hawkins have had both an amazing year dominating in their forward line. So I'm going to go Cats by 40.
Cats by 40. Jacob, what's your tip?
Yeah, I think Jeremy Cameron's going to have another big one. It's the year of the key forward, so I think week in, week out, he's just going to be awesome, supported by a great team by Geelong. I'm going Geelong by 30.
Mr. Smith?
I'll W that. I think a 10-goal victory for the Cats as well.
Wow. Well, I think the Cats are going to get up by 25 points with Tom Hawkins and Jeremy Cameron in one forward line. It is very hard to stop them. Now on to Crows versus Melbourne. Look, Melbourne, they're going for 10-0, and I, for one, would love to see them do that. They were very classy against the Blues. They have threats everyone on the field. I have a new Brownlow medalist prediction, and that is Christian Petrarca. He has stepped up every week. He signed the contract extension, loyal to the red and the blue. But yeah, Melbourne, incredible form. Simon Goodwin has the formula to win, and I've got Melbourne by 35 points. Carlia?
Yeah, I'm going to go Melbourne by 20.
Jacob?
I think it's too good to be true. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going with the Crows by 5.
Fair enough. No, that does make sense because I feel like Melbourne have a habit of letting down their supporters in big moments, and this may be one. Mr. Smith?
I'm thinking about that nervous feeling that Mr. G and other Melbourne supporters have been getting. They're waiting for the one that's gonna beat them, but I think they've proven themselves to be a bit better than that. So I also think D's by 3 goals.
Okay, well we're all aboard the D's train besides Jacob backing the Crows. Now next up, the Dogs versus the Saints. Now, is there a better way to prove yourself than beating Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval? I don't know if there is. Saints, inaccurate, bit of a not good show for the Saints last week. And the Dogs were incredible last week at Adelaide Oval. Jacob, tell us a bit about this game.
Yep, Saints again, terrible goal kicking. I think they have the players there in the midfield. They got Steele, Crouch, killing it. But you got to finish. That's the game. But the Dogs in the midfield are too good for any other team. Bont's in form. Trelaw's in form. Dogs are going to smash it, I reckon, 38 points.
Carlia?
Yeah, I second that. I'm going to go Dogs by 30.
Mr. Smith?
I think Dogs in a closer one, actually. I think less than 2 goals. I'll say 10 points.
I agree with you, Mr. Smith. I've got the Dogs by 15, just because I feel as if if the Saints were accurate, they had 22 scoring shots, to be fair. So I don't think they had a horrible game last week, but I believe they can bring it to the Doggies, but I think the Dogs will get the Chockies in the end. The next game of the round, we have Fremantle versus the Swans who beat Collingwood last week, but we do not need to talk about that. Carlia, Freo versus Swans.
Yeah, look, this is the game that could go either way. Freo do have the home advantage, which I'm thinking is going to take them over the line. I'm going to go Freo by 7. I do think they have a bit of an advantage going into this game.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah, look, great win by the Swannies last week. I'm a pretty conservative Swans fan. I generally, I'm going to tip the Swans away, but not with heaps and heaps of confidence. I'm going to say less than 10 points. I'll say an 8-point victory to the Swannies.
Jacob?
I think they've both got young clubs, but I don't know. I just think a team like Sydney can't be as good as they are each week. So I'm going Freo. Their young guns are a bit better. They got Chero, Brayshaw in there, and Sarong. I'm going to go them by 15.
Battle of the Young Guns. I have the Swans by 3 points, and I think that is the closest game of the round for me. But yeah, huge game there. The next game, Mr. Smith, you can take it away here. We have the Giants versus the Eagles. Jack Darling, 5 goals in 1 quarter. I was shocked when I saw that, really.
Pretty
Incredible. Take it away.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. I think Eagles are going to be way too potent in this game, namely because the Giants keep losing players. I mean, they've lost Toby Green, who's sort of he's not only obviously a great player, but he's sort of their measuring stick to some extent. So you kind of feel like he's the one that lifts them when they're in need. And their injury list is like longer than the Sunday morning queue outside Baker Blue. It's a mile long and it's not getting any better. So they've been really gallant. They were pretty unlucky to lose to Richmond last week. They were strong against Richmond. But I'm going to go Eagles, who've won a few in a row now and are starting to look really strong, spearheaded by some of those key forwards, as you mentioned. So I will say the Eagles by 24 points.
Yep. Jacob?
I think it's going to be a similar game to the Richmond GWS game, where GWS have a great start, have a good game, and then at the end come back. But I think Eagles will have a strong second half, 20-point win.
Carlia?
I'm going to go for a much smaller margin. I'm going to go Eagles by 10 just because of the way GWS played, and, they can use that as a bit of a kick in the face to up their games in the second half.
Well, I'm dropping the bomb. I think the Giants are going to win this game because, look, the Giants were so close to beating Richmond at their home deck. Well, Dimmer wouldn't say it's their home deck because he claims unless they played the MCG, it's an away game for them. But whatever, that's a whole other conversation. But look, the Giants played terrific and the Eagles struggle away from home. So I've got the Giants by 10 points in a cracking game. I think Jack Darling will kick 6. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. Next, we have the Pies versus the Power. Now, I'm nervous for this. I do not trust Collingwood at all. I don't like doing this, but I will be tipping against my club. Look, Power, they're very ferocious going forward. They do it with speed, and I just don't trust Collingwood. Charlie Dixon versus Darcy Moore. That is going to be an incredible battle. I'm really looking forward to that. And the Battle of the Prison Bars this game, actually. I'd love to win this to prove who really owns the black and white stripes, but unfortunately, I don't think we'll do it. I've got Port Adelaide by 23 points. Carlia?
Yeah, I've also got Port by 18.
Jacob?
Yeah, it's going to be Port for me as well. I'm not a big fan of the Pies. I only really like Darcy Moore there. I'm going to go Port by 42.
Ooh.
Yeah, Power by 20, but for me.
Power by 20. Next, we have the Bombers versus the Kangas. Round of applause to the Kangas on their first win. They didn't go 0-9. At one point, in one of the big call segments, I said that North may go 2-20, but if they play the way they did against the Hawks, who knows? We may see them winning 4 or 5 games this year. But yeah, good on them. Jacob, tell us a bit about Bombers versus Kangas.
I'm joining the North Melbourne bandwagon.
Oh,
I reckon, it's going to be a very close match, but I think if Zerha's there like he was against Hawks, to kind of help Larky in the forward line, they're looking way better. Cunnington through the middle, he's an absolute beast. And, I think Ben Mackay should take care of Hooker like his brother's doing at the other end of the ground. But I think Tipper might be the problem in the end. Still going North by 3, though.
North by 3. Mr. Smith?
Look, I'll go Bombers also in a close one, but I think Bombers will get the nod. 8 points.
Carlia?
Yeah, no, I can never really tip Essendon, so I'm going to go North by 5.
Mr. Smith, I think you're the only chicken here because I'm also going for North Melbourne by 2 points. I've just got a feeling. I can't explain. I don't have a lot of facts to back it up if I'm being honest, but I've just got a feeling that North Melbourne are getting on a bit of a roll. All right, we have been over the recap. We have been over the preview. So now on to the big call segment where we all provide a big call or a hot topic. And let's get it going. Jacob, this is your debut, so you go first. What is your big call?
It's a big one. I'm going for Lions are not going to lose another game this year.
Wow.
They're doing so well. Neil's not even back. McLuggage and Lyons dominating in the middle. Their forward line is absolutely stacked with Danaher, Hipwood and Cameron. And defence is also extremely strong with Harris Andrews, Rich, and shout out to Gil for pointing this out to me, but Braden Starcevich. They have a tough next 3 games with the Tigers, GWS and the Ds. So if they can win all those, I reckon they're going all the way to the grand final.
There's 13 rounds left of the season. Lions are playing 12, of course, because they have a bye, and that's a huge call. I don't think they're going to go 12-0 from here. However, I completely agree that when they get all these stars back, including Lachie Neale, they're gonna do some damage. I think they can be a top forward side very comfortably. I don't think they'll go 12-0, but I think they will have a fantastic run towards the end of the year. Carlia, thoughts?
Yeah, no, I can't back you up on that, Jacob. I just think that, no team is too good to fully predict they're going to go undefeated for a full 12 games. Maybe except for Melbourne. But, yeah, no, they're definitely a very strong side this year that can be backed to win the majority of them.
Mr. Smith?
Okay, so my big call, or you want my... Oh, there we go.
Go for it.
Yep,
Go for it.
call. So look, my big call's more about just a broader comment about coaches that hang on too long, and Clarko's the one that comes to mind. He's been mooted for a move to clubs like Carlton. I think at North Melbourne there was
the Pies as well.
Pies, and he's now hung on, and it looks like Hawthorn really could potentially be a wooden. I mean, they really could be the wooden spooners this year. It's a really high possibility. Just the question, does he become damaged goods at that point, or could he get another gig elsewhere? I mean, he's been obviously won a few premierships, and he's led a great side, but I just think he's played his cards wrong here.
Yeah, I completely agree. Clarko's having a shocker of a year, the last few years actually. But after you coach a team to a three-peat, I don't think you can say that he's washed or anything like that, because obviously coaching, it's not one of those things where as you get older you get worse. As you get older you get better. You get more footy IQ. And look, I think he's a champion coach. And personally, if he came to Collingwood, I'd be stoked. I love Buckley. I wouldn't be upset to see Buckley being signed on, but I'd definitely prefer to have Clarko, because our Bucks obviously can't get us that flag. But look, Clarko's a champion, but obviously not in good coaching form. Carlia?
My big call or the...
thoughts on Clarko?
Thoughts on Clarko? Yeah, I just think I would agree with you, Jack. Like, he's coached Hawthorn to, 3 great grand finals, and it's not like pianos and other things that, depreciate over time. They, they get more knowledge, and they know the game better and better as they coach. So...
Jacob, thoughts on Clarko?
I got to agree, he's a great coach, winning so many grand finals, but I think just at a time like this, I think it's time to move on and leave with a bit of success until it kind of falls. But if you're any other club, you should be taking him if you need a new coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think quite a good synopsis, if I can just interrupt there, is Clarko, not a piano. That would be my main take. Thank you, Carlia, for that. I thought that was a nice analogy.
All right, Carlia, your big call.
There's a few. My big call, it's not really a big call, but it's more Sam Walsh is probably the future of Carlton. It's not a big call. It's just the reality of the way he's playing this year, the way he's really, showing almost some leadership. You see a lot of leadership qualities in him. So I honestly think if Carlton were to move on from our current captains, which, they normally do after a certain amount of time, I reckon he would be the next one to go to. Yeah,
look, in every sport in the world, obviously we're here to talk about AFL, but there is not one sport in the world where you don't get excited when you see someone young going crazy, because you just know for a long time you're in for a treat. Sam Walsh, is he 21 or 22?
21.
21. So young, so talented. My only concern is that when Cripps is back to full form, will he steal a bit of that light? That's my only concern. And I really hope when Cripps is back to full form, Walsh his form doesn't, kind of go backward. But he is an absolute champion, and I believe he will win 1, maybe 2 Brownlows in his career, because he's already looking like a Brownlow contender, and he's only 21. He's only going to get better. Exciting stuff. Jacob, tell us a bit about Sam Walsh.
Yeah, he's an absolute jet, and I assume he can only get better. I just think one amazing player is not good enough to run a club. Gary Ablett didn't do it at Gold Coast, so he's got to get some players to back it up. But still, of course, he's going to be the future of Carlton. Hopefully he'll stay, and he'll be at the top always.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah, look, I think especially Cripps might have to focus on his health for a while.
Yes.
And so really other players need to step up. So it's good that he's doing what he's doing, and the club will probably recognise that, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, my big call. The media has been going crazy over Keziah Pickett, right? And a big comparison has been to Cyril Rioli, saying Pickett is the next Cyril Rioli. Do we agree or disagree with this statement? Could Keziah Pickett be like the next Cyril Rioli? Carlia, what do you think?
The way he's played, in the past few games, I definitely think he's up for it. Do I think that up to be an amazing player. This next Cyril Rioli, I don't know. I would have to see him play another couple more games the way he's been playing, more consistently. But yeah, definitely he's set to be an amazing, amazing player. Bright future.
Jacob?
100%. I reckon he's at the moment most exciting player to watch in the AFL, and yeah, I don't see why he couldn't with how he's playing now, for sure.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah, it's a segue, but a shout out to my son Arlo, who drafted him into his Supercoach team
Yes.
within a couple of rounds, just because, never mind that his scores from a Supercoach point of view, just obviously so exciting. That's, a young kid, a 9-year-old, gets excited about these sorts of players. But I'm inclined to agree with Carlia. We need a bit more data. We need a bit more time before we can start anointing. Cyril did some pretty amazing things on the biggest stage possible. So let's see him go a bit longer, Keziah.
Yeah, look, I can just say his age, but I think the thing that really puts it into perspective is that Keziah is only 4 years older than Jacob and I, 3 years older than Carlia.
Younger than me.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
A little younger than me.
But yeah, look, as we were saying about Sam Walsh, when you see young talent shining, it's one of the most amazing things to see in sport. So it's very exciting. I'm hoping he can be like a Cyril Rioli, because Rioli, one of the all-time greats. But yeah, really enjoying watching Pickett play. So we've been over it all. Thank you, everyone, for coming onto the podcast. Mr. Smith, Jacob, Carlia.
Thanks for having us.
We will be back next week in the Vodcast room to do another one. And we appreciate you watching, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks so much.